This beautiful place had been the O'Brien family ranch for 95 years, and when they wanted to sell it, they didn't want it to have to go to housing. So they got connected with the National Audubon Society, and the rest is history. Audubon's owned it now for 11 years. The site's also on the National Register of Historic Places because we have ruts here from the old Nebraska City Fort Kearny Oregon Trail cutoff. And so people can come out, stand up on the hill in those ruts, hip deep, look around the landscape and see what it looked like when the Native Americans lived here and when the European settlers were coming in. We try to do just about anything we can do to make it possible for people to come out and enjoy the prairie. So we have lots of walking trails that go through the various habitats. We have weekend programs and family programs. We have festival coming up on September 26th. We have events coming up in October, just things going on year-round, all focused on getting people out and enjoying the prairie. This is our native tallgrass prairie, and nationally or across North America, there's less than 2% of this native habitat left. So what you see when you visit Spring Creek Prairie, we own about 800 acres, and of that 800, probably about 600 are native, never been plowed. It's glacial remains, so there's just enough boulders and sand and stuff that not much of it was plowed. It was grazed instead. And when you come out here, some of the grasses, the real dominant grasses you'd see, of course, are our big blue stem, our state grass, the little blue stem, there's switchgrass. Right now in the fall, the beautiful goldenrods and sunflowers are blooming. And these are all plants and things people can have in their yards at home. A lot of the things that people use in their landscapes are things brought from other areas, and so they're not necessarily well adapted here. They can use need a lot of water or use a lot of pesticides, things like that. Our native stuff's totally adapted here, so once it gets established, it doesn't need extra water, it doesn't need herbicides, it's just wonderful. We do here have a demonstration butterfly garden with all native plants, so people can come out and see what these things might look like in their home gardens. If we think about our history in Nebraska, almost everything about our history, whether it's our natural history, our cultural history, whatever, the roots of it trace right back to our native tallgrass prairie. Our economy is driven by these soils. Our cultural history, our writers and artists, all those things really come from having a sense of place. And if we lose this landscape that we live in, we don't have a place. And Wendell Berry, a wonderful author, has a quote, "If you don't know where you are, you don't know who you are." And this is where we are. This is our native prairie. But many times we learn about things other places more than we learn here. So kids in schools know more about the loss of rainforests than about the loss of our native prairie. But this is the most threatened ecosystem in North America. Our native birds are declining faster than any other group of bird species. It really is an ecosystem in crisis. And while we hate to look at it that way, there's many environmental messages out there that are negative. That really is the reality. But it's wonderful to have such a beautiful place like this for people to come to and connect to that heritage. And we work hard to hope that it can be a legacy, not just heritage.